Hey, this is James Francis and welcome to this short free video. I hope you're having a great day so far. I just wanted to show you the importance of getting feedback from your prospects and customers in your marketing, because without customer feedback it's very difficult to give people what they actually want instead of what you think they want, because there's a difference. You can think that they may want something, but then the truth and the reality is that they may want something different, or they may want what you're giving them but just in a slightly different way, which is what I found out in this short case study. So you may have realized or seen my emails about my live webinar I've been presenting over the last few weeks about turning $1 in advertising into $5 in sales with our sales funnel. And briefly in this short webinar, all I would do is teach people how we do that, how we turn that $1 into $5 in sales with our sales funnels. Then at the end of that webinar, we just simply gave people a free opportunity to learn more about that process, working with us and that kind of stuff, right? So essentially the webinar went great. The people who registered, more or less nearly all of them attended, which is awesome. That's never happened before, a very high attendance rate. But then I found that a lot of people were opening my emails. However, very few people, in comparison to previous promotions and campaigns that I ran, actually signed up. So you can see here we sent this email to just under 20,000 people. So that is our prospects list. This is not to customers or anything like this, and we got a 6% open rate, which was 1,138 people opened the email. However, you can see we only got a 1% click-through rate, so that's only 153 out of that 1,138 people who opened the email actually clicked on the link to learn more about signing up for the free webinar. Okay, so that tells me that is around a quarter or maybe even a fifth of what we're used to. Usually we're getting around half of the people who open the email to click on the links to learn more about what we're talking about in the emails. So that made me think, hey, what's happening here? Why aren't people interested in registering for this webinar? Is it the topic? Is it the time of the day that the webinar is on? Is it just the way I'm writing the copy in the emails? Is it the just the subject matter of the webinar? Who knows, right? And you don't really have any idea unless you either A, split test it, just try testing lots of different variations of the content or the webinar, or B, the easier way and the much more effective and the quicker way is to simply ask your audience. Okay, just get some feedback from them. Ask them specifically why they didn't sign up, and that's exactly what I did. So my aim of this was just to find out why people weren't clicking on the link in the email to sign up for the webinar. Okay. Now here's how I did this. I just had a one-question survey or feedback form, whatever you want to call it, using Wufoo.com. You can use any kind of survey software or any kind of website like SurveyMonkey.com or Wufoo, which is my favorite. That's WUFOO.com. There is a free plan, I think, but SurveyMonkey definitely has a free one. But all I did was ask them specifically, why didn't you sign up for our free live training, which reveals how we're turning $1 in advertising into $5 in sales? And just one big whopping great text box where people can just tell us why they didn't sign up. Now you may think, hey, I'm not prepared for all of the negativity because after all this form is anonymous. We didn't collect any names or email addresses or anything like that. A lot of marketers will be affected in terms of their pride. They may think, hey, I don't want people saying bad things about me, but the reality is they're thinking those bad things anyway, so it's no different if they voice those opinions. And of course, if they do say some bad things, it tells you what to improve on. You shouldn't let that impact your pride because you can't please everybody. However, you can definitely try your best. Okay, and that's what an online business is all about, really, pleasing as many people as you can to make the most profit possible, right? So in the results here, now this was pretty shocking. I was thinking maybe it's the topic of the webinar, maybe it's something else, but we had about 30 or 40 responses or so as of recording this video, which is the morning after I sent out the survey. But you can see we had 30 responses here, and a lot of them were similar to this. So I work during the day. Next one. So this one was a bit different actually. This one says, I like the content that I've seen so far, however experience shows me that almost without fail gurus, quote unquote, overpromise and underdeliver, hence my reluctance to move forward. So most people analysing this would say, oh, this person is jaded, this person doesn't want to do anything with their business because they're stuck in that guru mindset of, well, everyone is against me, which is of course not the case, right? Not every single person online in any kind of industry is against you, is there to screw you over. You know, that's a jaded mindset to have, but the way to look at this from an analytical point of view to improve your own marketing is, hey, this person doesn't like that overpromise, underdeliver mindset. So in your email copy, then you need to emphasize that. You need to say, this is not your traditional webinar where you spend 90% of the webinar listening to some story drawn out for 6 billion hours, and then you get like 1% of content and then a pitch at the end, right? That's not that kind of webinar. So that's something I need to emphasize in the future. But of course, this was just one person out of the 30. So unless this crops up again and again and again, I wouldn't see it as a big issue, but it's something to consider, okay? Another one has a similar sort of thing. I'm tired of getting sent to webinars that don't really show you how to do anything, then try to upsell you something at the end of them, okay? So, of course, you know, the webinar I presented in this case did upsell something at the end. There's no shame in that. After all, this is a business, and I'm there to over-deliver to my customers, people who want to invest in their own results. You know, the people who invest in their business will get the best results after all. But, you know, if people didn't want to go for the free opportunity, then they had a solid hour of great content with no relation to the end free application process, right? So, you know, after all, either way, you know, but the main thing I found with all of the rest of the responses was it comes at a time that I'm not home, so it's no use to sign up. There's no replay, so I can't see it at another time. Another one, you always have the training while I'm working, and so on and so on. Another one is I can't see a webinar or anything else live. Many times I'm on the road, so again, a time issue. Another one was something about, you know, somebody who signed up for the webinar somehow got to this survey. Another one said, don't have time. You know, I realize you're an online salesman trying to sell as much as possible. So again, you need to emphasize the fact that if you don't want to buy anything, that's cool, but just sit through all the great stuff in the meantime, because it is stuff that can stand alone and will definitely help you. So again, that's something I need to add into my copy. And the reason why I'm saying all this stuff to you and reading out these responses is so you can know how to analyze these responses correctly. So if you are looking at these sorts of responses, if you have got some feedback from your audience and you're thinking, oh, you know, all these people hate me, or all of these people are jaded and they're not really my ideal customers, quote unquote, you need to change that mindset into thinking, how can I improve? How can I try and please as many people as possible to increase my profit to as much as possible? Okay. Another one is a time issue as well. I wanted to, but the time wasn't conducive to my work schedule. And you have a similar theme throughout all of these, you know. I'm not going to go through all of them because it will take forever, but essentially another one here, UK start time of 7 is too early, 9 PM would be better. Lots of other timing issues as well. So that tells me a few things. Firstly, we need to emphasize the fact that the free content on the webinar is actually very, very good, and it can stand alone. You can get a lot of value from the webinar, even if you don't go ahead with the free opportunity at the end. And number two is I need to adjust the time of the webinar for people in the States. You know, in the UK, 7 PM UK time was, you know, fairly late for me, considering I usually finish at about 5 PM during the day. Although in the US, if that was, you know, if I was presenting to the PST time zone, the Pacific time zone, that would be, you know, 7 PM Pacific. So that would be about 3 in the morning here in the UK. So that would obviously not be a great time to do a webinar for me, but maybe I could factor something in, you know, at a different time. You know, maybe I could set up some sort of automated version for the people who, you know, couldn't attend in the UK time, right? Because they had work commitments or something like that. Basically, adjust your marketing based on what your prospects want. Don't try and get them to come to you just thinking, oh, if they don't want it, then, you know, tough titties, right? You need to adjust your marketing to match your prospects, not the other way around. Okay, that way you are giving them what they want, and it's much easier to get them to take action on what you want them to do. Okay, whether it's attend a webinar, watch a video, or anything really. It's all about matching what you have to what your prospects actually want, you know, what they tell you they want. So basically, prospect and customer feedback is invaluable. Do it if you're unsure about anything whatsoever in your marketing or in your business. Always, always, always ask your audience, because that way you will know for 100% sure what to do next, and exactly how to structure your campaigns, what to say, what sort of emotional trigger points to hit, and so on and so on and so on. So hopefully this video helped, and hopefully now you understand the importance of getting some great feedback from your audience. Even if you have a very small audience, you can do this. You know, even just 3 or 4 responses will help you massively. I'm not saying you need to have a list of 20,000 people or so to be able to do this. You You can even ask on forums or message boards, hey people, what do you want me to write about? You know, what is the biggest problem you're facing regarding X topic? You know, whatever that topic may be in your niche. So even if you don't have an audience, it's still important to ask your target prospects and customers for feedback of exactly what they want to see. Okay? So again, hopefully this video has helped, and let me know if you have any comments or questions in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you very, very soon, maybe even with an adjusted time for the webinar as well, if you want to sign up for that as well. So I'll keep in touch and speak to you very soon. Bye-bye.